Hey guys, it's Olga. Welcome to BA Blog. Today's video is for those of you who want to become a business analyst. I will share my personal experience of starting a BA career with no IT background and growing up to chief BA position in one of the largest multinational IT companies. I will also share my trainee success stories who switched to business analysis from other IT and non-IT disciplines. So if you want to become a business analyst, welcome on board. I started my career 10 years ago. Back then I had no IT background and no idea who the BAs are and what they do. To tell the truth, I never thought I would somehow relate to IT. I had my diploma in financial accounting and I planned my career in bank until one day I lost my job. It was back in 2011 when Ukrainian banks stopped crediting and laid off half of their employees. I was shocked, depressed and desperate to find a new job with a stable income. And the only industry that provided a stable income in Ukraine during that period was IT. So I started to browse through numerous websites, trying to understand what positions are available and their requirements. It took a week before I suddenly came across a post that said there is a lack of business analysts in IT and they are in demand. Back then, people in Ukraine had a very vague idea of who the BAs are and what they do. So it took another day of investigation before I found an article that said business analyst collects the requirements and creates technical documentation. Bingo! It sounded like a real chance because I spent previous 5 years creating financial documentation for the bank. I understood I have at least some skills that might be interesting for a potential employer. Now it was time to find my first job as a business analyst. Realizing no one will hire me without experience, I decided to use my second competitive advantage, which was knowledge of the finance domain. I found a small local company that was focused on implementation of ERP systems for financial accounting. I sent my CV there and guess what? No one replied. I was so desperate to get a job that I printed my CV and showed up at that company office without an invitation. I told the receptionist I came for an interview. I don't know how and why, but she took me to a HR office. Now I realize how crazy it was. They could call security and kick me out, but for some reason they let me in. I spent the next hour talking to HR and their lead BA, convincing them I can write documentation, I know the domain and I learn fast. As a result, they gave me a test task that I had to complete during 2 weeks. Luckily for me, that task was intended to check my domain knowledge and logical thinking rather than any hard BA skills. I completed that task and they offered me a trainee position for 3 months without pay. And here I faced a new dilemma: to accept an offer, work without pay, take money from my family for the next 3 months and try the new unknown area with no guarantee it will work out, or to find a paid job in another bank and return to my comfort zone. I got lost, I couldn't make my decision. The idea of getting back to bank seemed more logical and safe, at least for the short time period. Plus, I felt sorry for the 5 years I spent to become an expert in finance. And here my mom stepped in. She told me, okay, you have to try that new opportunity, and if it doesn't work, you can always return to the bank. Her words helped me to decide. I grabbed that opportunity despite my doubts and fear. Now, looking back, I can tell it was the right choice. I began to work and study. No one explained theory to me. Instead, from the first day, I was assigned small tasks, and in that way, I learned on practice. I was lucky to meet great people who consulted me throughout the probation period, and in 3 months I closed my probation and was converted to junior BA. That's how I started, nothing extraordinary. Now I understand it was a combination of persistence and luck. And I don't argue to storm the IT company's offices. 10 years ago, I had not much choice and I struggled with a lack of information. Nowadays, the BA is an integral part of most agile teams. There are lots of schools that teach business analysis. Some IT companies take trainees from the market with no experience, educate them, and convert to junior BAs. Your task is to gain courage, select the right school or company, and get there on training position. Now let's consider it step by step. The first and the most important is to find courage and determination to make that transition. Be prepared that trying to find your first job you will face competition and resistance. You will need to fight your fear and leave your comfort zone. To do it, you need loyal people around, someone who will support you, someone who will say that you can try, see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, no one will die. The second critical step is to select the right education program not to lose your money and time. And I advise you to select those that provide on training positions. Because the best way to get acquainted with a new profession is to start practice it, and the easiest way to get the first job with no experience is an internship. Let this sink in. Your first job may be poorly paid or not paid at all. The most important, it should give you the practical experience. That's what happened to me. I spent 2 years working for my first company. My salary there was just enough to pay for nanny for my child. However, I got knowledge and experience there, and it allowed me to move to larger companies and higher salaries. Remember, customers doesn't pay for diplomas, they pay for hard and soft skills. The final challenge after you found a program or a company is to get there. And be sure if it is the right company, you will face a hard competition. To win it, you need to be proactive and know what your employer needs. When you try to get your first job, no one expects you will know everything. But you need to have at least one competitive advantage and sell it properly to convince them to give you a chance. In my current company, we have a BA lab for people who want to switch to business analysis from other disciplines. Hundreds of candidates come to us, and the chance get those who pass the test tasks, show they care, and have at least some relevant skills that might be valuable in production. For example, one of our trainees was a girl who came from HR. She had no hard BA skills, but instead she had excellent English and strong interpersonal skills. She used that skills as a competitive advantage, passed education, and joined the development team. She worked hard and quickly caught up on business analysis, but the most valuable, due to her soft skills, she quickly built trusting relationships with the team and the customer. In 2 years, that girl became a lead BA on that project. In conclusion, I'd like to say that getting your first job as a business analyst is more about your attitude and understanding of employer needs rather than any theoretical knowledge. So if you want to become a BA, be patient, look for learning opportunities and try. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope my experience was useful to you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave your comments and hit notification bell not to miss my upcoming videos. Good luck and see you soon!